Has anyone calmed down yet? I still feel like part of my soul is missing in the ether after watching that incredibly intense, high-octane spectacle that was, of course, Tottenham 1, Chelsea 4 in the Premier League. Big Ange, mate, his unbeaten record coming to an end. So much controversy in and around the game before and after. I've had time to breathe. I hope you have too. I'm going to reflect on a few things today while also speaking about a couple of Chelsea news stories. Anthony Taylor coming back to haunt us. He's back. He will referee the Man City game. Oh my giddy aunt, that's really upsetting and sobering. Oh God, brings you right back down to earth, doesn't it? And also, really interesting, David Ornstein speaking about how Chelsea are looking to bring a Galactico striker in. Maybe less Ivan Toney and more Harry Kane. Ooh la la, that would be very fun, wouldn't it? Yeah. So thanks for joining me. Strap yourselves in. Thank you to all of you who continue to support the content. If you do dig it, let me know by dropping a like, and you are welcome to subscribe, of course. Alright, so first of all, let's just quickly talk about Anthony Taylor. He's going to referee Chelsea versus Manchester City. For context, this guy has got a list as long as anybody's arm of all the incorrect and quite frankly often farcical decisions he's made officiating in inverted commas Chelsea games. And yeah, it was a meme, but it wasn't a meme because everyone was like, yeah, to be honest, he's made a load of howlers. To be honest, generally in his career. Now, this is not me calling him out. I know he's had loads of difficulty. He and his after was it the Europa League final when he had a bit not the greatest game, and Mourinho came for him, and like the fans at the airport. I don't like to see that, but it's up to FIFA to assign referees appropriately. Now, only so recently, Anthony Taylor was demoted to the Championship for being, quite frankly, not a very good referee. And he went down into a Championship game and he made some poor decisions. I think he gave a penalty that was not a penalty. And, you know, in his punishment for being poor, he made further poor decisions. Of course, there was no VAR to remedy any of his blunders. And somehow he makes a big blockbuster return to Premier League football very, very quickly, or rather prematurely, to manage Chelsea versus Manchester City. That, to me, is, quite frankly, bullshit. Yeah, let me know what you think about that. But, you know, like, whatever. Who knows? Maybe he'll have a complete brain fart and think Man City or Chelsea and just randomly send off Rodri for the lols. Right, before we speak about Harry Kane level forward, which is obviously a quote from Ornstein. I'm seeing that from CFCPYS on Twitter. Let's talk about the game a little bit more in reflection. I, of course, did a complete breakdown yesterday where partnered up with Beer 52, actually. If you want free beer for the festive period, just paying for postage, do go check that out, my previous upload. And I really get into the game and all the madness that ensued in yesterday's complete breakdown video. So if you haven't watched that, I'd very much gently waft you over to watch that as well. You don't have to watch it before this, but go check it out. Check it out. All right, so sobering reflection, 18 hours odd later, at time of recording anyway, we didn't play well. And look, man, and this will lead us on to Jackson and then this potential striker, like, it's, an expensive striker. It's different in terms of how the game went, but do you remember, because Spurs were the creators of earlier and downfall here, and that high line they played was just so... But do you know what? Look, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Do you know what it made me think of? Do you remember Frank Lampard's first game? I think it was his first game as Chelsea manager when we played Manchester United. I can't remember if it was at home or at Old Trafford, but they beat us 4-0. And even today, that's referenced as one of the most peculiar 4-0s. I don't think we had any sendings off, but we looked really good, and we started that game really well against United, and it was like Frank Lampard's, swashbuckling young blues that were going to rip apart, I guess, it wasn't Mourinho's United, it would have been, Roddy heck was it? It must have been Solskjaer. Yeah, it was Solskjaer. And we looked really good, and we looked like we were going to batter them, and somehow we kept getting done on the break. And to be fair, I think United were really clinical, so it's not exactly the same, is it? Because they took 4 chances and scored 4 goals. But it was a really weird... United did not have a 4-0 winning game. And it made me think of that because we should... I know it's... Look, I'm a Chelsea fan. Let's be realistic about this. History won't think about this performance. History will look back on this game and go, oh, remember when Ange Postecoglou had a really good start to his Tottenham tenure where he was undefeated in the first 9 or 10 games, and then former Tottenham manager Pochettino comes up with Chelsea and beats them 4-1 and they got players sent off. Like that will be the history books. And that suits us very well, thank you very much. And we can go, oh yeah, Nico Jackson hat-trick. It says here, checks notes. Very good vibes indeed. But we all know if you have a sobering reflection, that is not the whole story. And look, I'm very mindful here not to slag off a good result. And Pochettino was right post-match in his presser when he said, look, we showed character to come back from that very difficult opening spell when Tottenham were all over us. And they were all over us. I was like, oh my God, this is horrendous. This could be really ugly and a really bad vibe for us. And before their first sending off, between their goal and before their first sending off, and the penalty, of course, we actually looked really good. There were times when we played really good, like Sterling had a disallowed goal with a handball. Maybe the Jackson header chance was that in there, but still we looked very good. And we had in between that time, the Sky Sports graphic came off. We had 7 shots to their 0 shots in that period. So yes, Pochettino is right to highlight that show of character. But holistically looking at the game, come on, Tottenham, right? They were like, right, we are going to destroy ourselves. This is not like Mikel Arteta's Arsenal, where the world is against us. It's like, no, we are going to honestly dismantle ourselves and not complain about it afterwards, Yes, it was boring with VR decisions, but I think all the decisions were correct. I mean, I do think the Caicedo goal was harsh. I don't think the kick out in the back of Levi was a red card. I do think Udogie could have gone for his first yellow. I don't think it's a travesty that he didn't. I think Sterling did him a favour by jumping out of the way. The only decision, really, I think, is the Jackson offside, which is really, really, really marginal offside. But regardless to that fact, he was so far out, I don't think it affected. I think that should have been given. But generally, in a mental game, I think they got most of the decisions right. But yeah, it was Tottenham that were basically... bending themselves over a barrel, saying, yes, we'll get up, we'll have petulant players that will get themselves sent off. And then, just to really, it's like, it really was holding our hand up to the penalty spot and an open goal. Like, get rid of the keeper, we're going to 9 men, play a high line. I'm sure all of you have seen that still, graphic of the 8 outfield players, literally all on the halfway line, lining up. It was like, I think, Vitushin and Hunter Raja, I can't pronounce his surname. And Hunter Raja? Yeah, I think so. The guy Vish from the Football Ramble, he's a good pundit, a good journalist, and he said it was like an NFL defensive line, when they all line up like that, and they're going to try and sack the quarterback. It was bizarre, bro. I've never seen anything like it. Genuinely, it still blows. I posted it on my Instagram saying I've never seen anything like it. If you want to follow me on Instagram @FootballYannick to see me on there. But yeah, it was extraordinary. And that was them going, come on, run over. We're only going to have 1 bank of 8 here. And all you got to do is run past us. Oh, have you missed? Oh, have you missed? Oh, you're offside. Are you offside? I'll have another one. Oh, yeah. Literally, it was saying, have another go. Have another go. It was almost like, a confidence building exercise. Had it not been such a fierce rivalry, I'd have to be check the bank account of that team in case Bowley's been there saying, here's a load of money, lose 2 players and do this weird high line thing so we can just constantly run him behind. We should have scored. Jackson should have scored 5. People saying 5, 6, 7 goals, Jackson, but he should have scored. Certainly the header, and there was another gilt-edged chance as well. But the thing is, I'm not going to dig out Jackson because, yes, he should have scored loads of goals. If he scored one and we won 2-1 with a penalty, it would be a negative spin. Yeah, we got the points, but Jesus Christ, we blagged that against 9 men, and Jackson really doesn't look like the guy. If he scored 2, it still probably would have been like, oh God, he's a striker for Chelsea in that scenario. He's got to do better. But 3 is like, okay. And that sounds really, really harsh because he scores a friggin' hat-trick in the Premier League away at Tottenham. But you gotta just look at it, the hard facts for what it is. You know me, guys. I'm toxic positivity Yan. But bro, you gotta be. This can only be good though for Jackson. He scored a hat-trick. He looked so gassed afterwards. Like that post-match interview I watched, he just wasn't listening to the questions. He was just talking. A dude looked like he was charged on something, do you know what I mean? But anyway, point being, it can only do him good, right? It can only do him good. 3 goals. I'm not expecting him to go and score against Man City because I know I'm being realistic and I'm lucid to where we are as a team right now. But if he has less howlers and I heard on the Football Ramble, actually, he's got the same amount of Premier League goals as Ollie Watkins, who's like the darling of the Premier League at the moment in terms of a human striker and not a robot that's called Haaland. And he's done it in significantly less minutes than Watkins. That on paper looks great. Yes, context. But yeah, I don't know. He could have, if he just got the 4 or 5 goals, it would have been like, yeah, you've been eaten. Like, you bent over. Let's not use that analogy. You made yourself vulnerable and then got absolutely taken apart by Jackson. He basically went, thank you very much. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he went, thank you very much. He went, oh, I gotta keep trying. And then he got the goals. I think also as well, he kept running offside just constantly. You can make an argument that the passes didn't come when he wanted them. But there was a lot of just offside running. And I think Pochettino got very frustrated to the point where it was Sterling that was just taking the ball on the right flank, running, and then cutting it back for Nico. Just like, there you go. Until eventually he scored. Do you know what I mean? It was like, right, you can't stay on side, so Raz is going to do this, and he's just going to keep feeding them to you, and it eventually worked. So, yes. Not a hit piece on Nico Jackson. I've seen some very positive stuff from him this season, and clearly if he can get his confidence right, which is a big if, there's a player in there. But apparently, Chelsea are just still looking for an elite striker. There's multiple reports suggesting that Pochettino, even with Nkunku fit, by the way, who he's trying as a striker, he was unconvinced about Chelsea's goal scoring and the centre-forward position. That's probably why he was trying out Christopher Nkunku as striker several games in pre-season. Of course, Nkunku is set to return, but Nkunku can play in a number 10, he can play on the left, he can play in a 2-striker system, a 4-4-2, which we have played this season already. You know me, I'm not one for changing formations, certainly at the moment in this iteration of Chelsea. I don't mind it if you all know each other and you're good, but I think it can make you vulnerable when you're trying to settle. But yes, the team can find a place for Nkunku, and Chelsea apparently want a striker. So David Ornstein says this: Chelsea are really, really looking for an elite level forward, a number 9 or another attacker who can add more goals. Nkunku is an attacker who can add goals, but yeah, perhaps that's why Ivan Toney isn't at the top. Maybe a quote Harry Kane level forward is easier said, but that's easier said than done. So, despite Chelsea's positive metrics this season, and again, I think I said this yesterday in the complete breakdown, Monday Night Football on Sky Sports had an analysis graphic of expected goals for and against Chelsea and Tottenham, and Chelsea were better offensively and defensively than Tottenham on the expected metrics. And, Tottenham have been first and Chelsea have been 12th. and Chelsea at those periods, first and 12th, Chelsea had the stronger metrics. But of course, expected goals is chances you've created. We've seen loads of positive stats floating around. We know progressive forward passes from Enzo are very good. Cole Palmer's boasting some incredible stats and metrics at the moment in terms of creativity. But the people need to be there to receive them, and Chelsea are underperforming their XG, and top teams generally overperform their XG. Hence, Chelsea looking for an elite striker. So, look, I like Ivan Toney. I'd welcome him to the squad, but if they're really thinking, look, let's just friggin' throw the money that we've still got apparently at this, which is wild. I mean, we could go back in over the next transfer window in January about how we can do this, because apparently we can. Remember, those sexy words will come out again: amortization, pure profit, and lowered wage bill. That all goes into a blender and makes Chelsea's capacity to spend higher comparatively to other teams anyway. Yes, so less Tony, more Kane in Osimhen. Now I say Kane, you're probably thinking, but Jan, Harry Kane has just gone to Bayern Munich. And by the way, I know it's not a surprise, but he is eating that league alive. If he carries on scoring at this rate, he will have 51 Bundesliga goals. The record is currently 41, held by a Robert Lewandowski, who should have won the Ballon d'Or, 2 or 3 years ago. And Kane is like, I know he might not keep this up, but if he does, he will. He scored 3 hat-tricks in the last 6 games. Look, man, this isn't really... I mean, it's incredible how he's just taken no time to settle, but is there a surprise to you that this guy who was scoring insane amounts of goals for Tottenham is scoring insane amounts more for Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga? Not really, but yeah. Now, listen, I want to talk about Kane because Pochettino was asked about this when he's left Tottenham. Poch has obviously as well, but Kane has, and gone to Bayern, and he sort of said never, as in like him coming to Chelsea, but it will be a difficult move to do. And we spoke about this then. There was a bit of a conspiracy that maybe like Bayern Munich would represent like a middle ground for Kane to go somewhere and then join Chelsea. Of course, he's building a house next to a golf club and really close to the Chelsea training ground, Harry Kane. Make of that what you will. And you could theorise and speculate.
Obviously, to go to Germany for a couple of years, win a load of trophies. I've never won trophies before. And come back to my family to London and play for Chelsea and my former coach, Pochettino.
Get your tin-foil hats on. That could happen, right? Right? I mean, obviously, he's 30 now. So he'll be at least 31, probably 32, joining Chelsea, being a elite striker. I don't know. Is it too old? By then, will one of our strikers be good? Do we needed like a striker before? I don't think we're going to buy Harry Kane in January. I don't think you could get him like a year into his Bayern contract either. So, of course, quote, Harry Kane level forward, end quote. It's just Victor Osimhen. And is Victor Osimhen Harry Kane level forward? I'd have to say no. I haven't seen enough. Osimhen, how old is Osimhen? Because I think he's a lot younger. He's in his mid-20s. Osimhen. I'm just going to tell you now. I think he's 25. He's 24. So he turns 25 next month. So he'll be 25. If you bought him in January, he'll be 25, okay? Napoli do not want to lose him in January. But he needs to sign a new deal. If he's sold in the summer, I believe they have a year left on his deal. I don't think he's going to re-sign. Is Victor Osimhen like a Harry Kane level, forward? I just quickly want to look while I'm recording now on his stats this season. So he's got 6 goals in 622 minutes, a goal every 5 minutes or something. Which is fine, which is good. I think Napoli aren't doing as good this season, so, maybe like there's a bit of uncertainty there. No assists either. I don't know, is he the answer? And he'll cost a lot of money, even if there's just got 18 months a year left on his deal, and he'll want high wages as well. He just will. Tough, man, real tough. I don't know, I've got just generally like the fear when it comes to buying and a very expensive centre forward, and you can thank Romelu Lukaku, for doing that to me. Who is there, bro? Is Osimhen? He was pictured in a Chelsea shirt as a kid. Ding. He's won the Scudetto last season and scored a bunch of goals. I don't think did he win? I don't think he won the Golden Boot. I have a feeling that was Lautaro. Although if you said to me, Jan, Osimhen or Lautaro, who would suit Chelsea more? Probably Osimhen, although Lautaro, if we are going to run in behind sometimes and you want another Argentina World Cup winner in there for, Enzo Fernandez and their countrymen and the coach, I don't know, man. Other than that, you know, all the other super elite ones are old. You know, you think of like the golden era strikers of like Suarez and Benzema, you know, and Lewandowski. That, you know, they'll know he's at Barca, but he's mid-30s now. So really, it's just like Haaland, who's not going anywhere. Harry Kane. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I wanted to talk about it. A pretty long video today. Please do drop a like, subscribe if you want to, and hit the bell if you do. Daily videos here, of course. Remember to follow me on social media at Football Yannick, and I look forward to seeing you guys back here soon, hopefully. Take care of yourselves. Peace.